Okay, so today we're looking at slope-intercept form. The first question says, consider the graph to the right. Which of the following points below are on the line? So we're seeing these and seeing if they're on the line. So 2, 0 means that the x is 2 and the y is 0. So that means I went over 2 and I didn't go up any. So that one, yes, is on the graph. Okay, let's go to -1, 0. -1, 0 is right here. So that one is not on the graph. So let's put no. 6, 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 approximately would be up here at 2. So yeah, that looks like it's on it. Okay, go ahead and pause this video and see if you can see if the other 3 are on the line. Okay, so you should have figured out that -3, -3 is right here. So it's close to the line, but it's not on the line. 5, 1.5. 5, well, this is 1, and that's 2. So 1.5 is right there. So I'm going to say yes, that is on the line. And finally, 8, 3. So 8's off the graph, but if we keep going, so like how do we go from point to point? So I went up 1 over 2. So 6 was here, so up 1 over 2 is 7. Up 1 over 2 would be 8. So let's see, that's the 6. Six, 7, 8. Oh, I went too far. This was 6. This little line was 7. That one was 8. So right there. So 8, 3. So yes. That was a little harder to see because it's not on the graph. So let's see. It says even though 0.62 and 8, 3 aren't pictured, we can still be confident that they are on the line. But here's the goal for this lesson. Is the point 128,36 on the line above? To answer this, you'll need to get more comfortable with linear equations, which starts by graphing one with a table. So we are going to graph this right here. We're going to make a table. So we're going to do it the old school way, and we're going to plug it in. So we need to plug in this -1 in for the x. So we're going to find y equals, the -2 is going to stay, times -1 plus 3. So we're just taking where this x is and putting in each of these numbers. So let's see, -2 times -1 is a 2 plus a 3 is going to give me a 5. Okay, let's try the next one. Y is going to equal -2 times now 0 plus 3. That's 0 plus 3, so that's 3. Okay, let's try number 1. Y is going to equal -2 times 1 plus 3. That's -2 plus 3, which gives you a 1. You guys pause this video and you try the last one, number 2. We're plugging number 2 in. Okay, so you should have tried number 2. So you should have gotten y equals -2 times 2 plus 3, which is a -4 plus 3, which is going to give you a -1. Now that we have our points, we can graph them on the line. So -1 is 5. So we're going over to the left 1 and up 5. Then we're going to go 0, 3. So 0 is 3. 1 is 1. And 2 is -1. Okay, then we're going to connect our dots. If you have a straight edge like a ruler, I would suggest using it. And then it says, Graphing linear equations with a table takes way too long. What do we notice about this equation? So what we notice is that the slope is -2, and it crosses the y-axis at 3. So this is in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So every time we're on this line, it went down 2 and right 1. That's why it was a -2. So the slope in this equation is the m, and the b is your y-intercept. It's where it crosses the y-intercept, but if you're using just this equation right here, that's where you're starting. You're starting at the 3 on the y-intercept, and then you're moving -2 over 1. Okay, so it says, before we start graphing, let's practice recognizing the slope and the y-intercept. So for this right here, the slope is always attached to the x, whatever number's with the x. So you're not going to write the x, but it's just going to be the number 3. The y-intercept is 4. Okay, the next one, the slope is -2 over 3. The y-intercept is -5. Okay, what happens though when there is no number with the x? Do you guys remember what number is actually in front of the x? Hopefully you're thinking 1. So in this case, the slope is 1 and your y-intercept is 6. Okay, so on this last equation, again, we have to put a 1 in front. So it's really a -1. But what's the y-intercept? Is there a number after the x? So all of these have a number after the x, but this one doesn't. So when there's no number, it's a +0. So your y-intercept is 0. So let's graph. So this is the quicker way than making a table. So first, we're going to plot the y-intercept. You're plotting the y-intercept, and then we're using the slope to plot more points. So my y-intercept is right here, which means I have to go to -1 on the y-axis. So that's our first point. Then this is my slope, and it's a whole number, so you can always put a whole number over 1. So what that means is you're going to go, remember it's rise over run, so we're rising 3 and we're running 1. We're going up 3 and we're going to the right 1. 1's positive, so you're running in the positive direction, which is to the right. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, to the right 1 and put a point. Up 1, 2, 3, and to the right and put a point. Then you can do the same thing starting at your y-intercept, doing the opposite. So the opposite of up is going to go down, 1, 2, 3, and the opposite of right is left. Which makes sense because when I connect these, it's a line. It's not going to be a V shape, it's a line. Okay, so next, we're going to quickly review how we're going to read these. So 4 over 5 means up 4 and right 5. So go ahead and pause this video and see if you can figure out these other 3. So 6 is really 6 over 1, which means you're going up 6 and right 1. -3 is -3 over 1, so you're going down 3 and right 1. And for this one, this negative, we're going to keep with the 2, which means you're going down 2 and you're going to go right 3. So the next part is, given the equations, we're going to graph again. So again, you're always starting here. You're always starting at the number at the end, and the number with the x is your slope. So here you're starting at 1, which means the y-axis of 1. Right there's your start point. And we're going up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. Well, that's only 3 points. We got to plot a couple more. So you're going to go from your y-intercept, and now instead of up 2, right 1, you're going to go down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. And connect your lines. Okay, you guys pause this video and try the next one. Okay, you should have paused the video and you should have tried this next one. So our starting is at -3, and our slope is 1/2, which means up 1, right 2. So we're going to go up 1, right 2, up 1 to the right 2. Or the opposite, again, starting at your y-intercept, is down 1, left 2. Okay, I want you guys to go ahead and finish trying these. Your answer key will be on Canvas. Let's go ahead and go to the back side. It says, now we have skills to look at a graph of a line and write the equation. So every time it's y equals mx plus b. So you need the y-intercept and you need the slope. So first, the y-intercept for this first problem is right here. It's wherever it crosses the y-axis. So our y-intercept, our b, is going to be a +2, and our m is the slope. So let's just go from this point, and remember, to find your slope, you have to find another nice point. Nice points are right in the intersections. So this is not a nice point. This next one is not a nice point, but right here is a nice point because it's right in between the crossings. So how do I go from point 1 to point 2? You had to go up 1 and to the right 3. Remember, slope is rise over run. So we rose 1 and we ran 3. And then just check. Is this slope going uphill? Is it increasing? Yes, it is. Remember, if you're not sure, you always draw your little person on the left side of the graph, and this person would be walking uphill. So our final equation is going to be y equals the slope first, 1/3 x plus 2. Okay, let's try the next one. We need our b and our slope. Our b for this problem is right there, and that's a -1. So don't forget the negative sign. Then we have to find the slope. So I'm going from here. Where's a nice point? Here's a nice point. So I make my triangle, and I had to go down 2 and to the right 3. So my slope is 2/3, but since I said down, it needs a negative. And again, your person always starts on the left, so when he starts walking, he's going to tumble downhill. So y equals a -2/3x minus 1. Okay, I want you to try these other ones on your own and check your answers on Canvas. So our final problem is the original question. It wants to know, given this graph, is this a point on the line? So we have to find the equation of the line. So we're going to find the equation. Then see if 128, 63 satisfies it. Basically, we're going to plug it in. We're plugging in the x and the y. So this equation, remember we need the b, which is the y-intercept, and you need your slope, which is the m. So your b right here is -1, and your slope, here's a nice point, triangle. I went up 1 and to the right 2, so 1/2. And it's positive, because if you're a little person, he'd be walking uphill. So first our equation, y equals, it's mx plus b. So it's going to be y equals 1/2 x plus b. And actually we know the b. What's our b? Your b should be -1. So we're going to do 1/2 x minus b. So -1. So there's our equation, and now we need to plug in both of these points. So this is the x and this is the y. So in this equation, we're going to say 63 equals 1/2 times 128 minus 1. So we're plugging this part right here into our calculators. So we have 63 on the left, and when you plug this into your calculator, you should get a 63 on the right. So since they're equal, this is a true statement. That's true. We've done those before. And so the answer is yes, that this point is on the line above.